In a world where aliens and humans coexist, my life took a bizarre turn. I never thought I would find myself embroiled in a sci-fi adventure, but everything changed the moment I met her. An alien girl with vibrant blue skin and captivating, curious eyes descended from her spaceship, and her intentions were utterly shocking. Little did I know, her bizarre desire to breed with me would leave my mother in disbelief and lead to an unforgettable journey of laughter, confusion, and a dash of romance. As I recount this strange encounter, join me in exploring a universe where interspecies love and cosmic misunderstandings collide in the most unexpected ways. Hold on to your seats, because this story is anything but ordinary. It all started on a seemingly ordinary day, much like any other. As I walked home from school, my mind was preoccupied with the usual teenage concerns: grades, friendships, and what to have for dinner. Suddenly, a strange light blazed across the sky, pulling my attention away from my mundane thoughts. To my astonishment, a sleek spaceship landed with a thud in a nearby park. My heart raced as I watched the door hiss open, revealing the most extraordinary sight. Out stepped Zyla, the alien girl. Her skin shimmered in shades of blue, adorned with swirling patterns that danced like stars in the night sky. With her large, curious eyes and a playful smile, she looked straight at me, igniting a mix of curiosity and excitement I had never felt before. What could she possibly want? Zyla wasted no time in getting to the point. After a brief introduction filled with giggles and awkward silences, she leaned in closer and, with an infectious enthusiasm, declared, "I want to breed with you." My jaw dropped. At first, I thought it was some kind of cosmic prank, but the sincerity in her vibrant eyes told me otherwise. "Wait, what?" I stammered, trying to process the absurdity of her statement. I had watched countless sci-fi movies where aliens invade Earth for all sorts of reasons, but this was new. "Why me?" I managed to ask, my heart racing between excitement and sheer disbelief. Zyla explained that on her planet, breeding with a human was seen as a form of intergalactic cultural exchange. The thought of creating a hybrid being filled my head with wild possibilities, but I was still grappling with the fact that an alien girl was standing before me, with a serious proposal no less. After our initial encounter, I found myself sitting on a park bench, grappling with an overwhelming whirlwind of thoughts. Why would an alien want to breed with a human? Was this some bizarre cultural norm from her home planet? I began imagining all sorts of outlandish scenarios. What if we created super-intelligent hybrid beings? Or would our offspring just be a disastrous mix of awkwardness and mischief? The possibilities raced through my mind like a sci-fi movie on fast forward. I pictured living with a half-human, half-alien kid, navigating school with a being that could potentially levitate or shoot laser beams from their eyes. The thought both excited and terrified me. Was this some kind of joke or an elaborate scheme? My life had suddenly turned into an episode of a show I never signed up for, and I was both terrified and strangely thrilled at the same time. Feeling the weight of this bizarre revelation, I knew I had to confide in my mom. The thought of sharing this story filled me with a mix of excitement and dread. "Mom, you won't believe this," I started, pacing nervously in the living room. "I met an alien girl, and she wants to breed with me." I blurted out, half expecting her to laugh it off. But the silence that followed was deafening. Her eyes widened in shock as she processed what I had just said. "What do you mean, breed?" She finally exclaimed, her voice a mixture of disbelief and concern. I could see the gears turning in her head, wondering if this was some elaborate prank or if I had lost my mind. As I explained Zyla's intentions, my mom's expression shifted from shock to concern. "You need to be careful. This isn't a game, it's serious," she warned, and I could see the protective instinct kicking in. My mom was visibly shaken, her hands waving in disbelief as she tried to make sense of my revelation. "How can you trust her? She's an alien," she insisted, her voice filled with a mix of concern and incredulity. I tried to assure her that Zyla was harmless, that she was curious about Earth and wanted to learn about human culture. But my mom wasn't convinced. "This is not just some silly crush. We don't know anything about her. What if she's a spy? Or worse, what if she has a hidden agenda?" I understood her fears. Any mother would worry about their child getting involved with an alien. But I also felt an undeniable connection to Zyla, something deeper than mere attraction. Mom, I need to meet her again. I have to understand her better. I insisted, hoping to ease her worries. Despite my mom's objections, I was determined to meet Zyla again. I quickly texted her, suggesting we meet at our local park the next day. As I awaited her response, a mix of excitement and anxiety coursed through me. What would we talk about? What if she said something that would send my mom into another frenzy? But deep down, I felt drawn to her vibrant personality and curious nature. When Zyla replied with an enthusiastic yes, my heart soared. I began to imagine what our next encounter would be like. Maybe we could have a picnic, share stories about our worlds, and discuss her unique perspective on life. I could learn so much from her, and who knows, maybe this bizarre situation could turn into something beautiful. The day of our second meeting arrived, and I could barely contain my excitement. I arrived at the park, my heart racing as I spotted Zyla sitting on a blanket, surrounded by an array of colorful snacks that looked otherworldly. She greeted me with a bright smile, her blue skin shimmering under the sun. "I brought you some Zoraxian treats," she exclaimed, presenting a basket filled with neon-colored delicacies. My stomach churned with curiosity and apprehension. As we sat down together, I tried to push aside my fears and embrace the moment. Zyla's laughter was infectious, as she described her home planet, painting vivid pictures of landscapes filled with bioluminescent plants and creatures. I listened intently, fascinated by her tales of intergalactic adventures and her quest to learn more about humans. As we shared the Zoraxian snacks, I hesitated before taking a bite of a bright green fruit that looked like a cross between a mango and a jellyfish. With Zyla watching eagerly, I braced myself and took a tentative bite. To my surprise, it burst with flavor. Sweet, tangy, and slightly fizzy, all at once. I couldn't help but laugh at the experience. "This is incredible," I exclaimed, my taste buds dancing with delight. Zyla giggled, her joy infectious as she encouraged me to try more. We laughed and talked about our favorite foods, our worlds, and the strange yet fascinating differences between us. In that moment, I felt a connection growing, an understanding that transcended our species. As our conversation deepened, I knew I had to address the elephant in the room. "So, about your proposal," I began cautiously. Zyla's eyes sparkled with curiosity, and she leaned in closer. "Yes, I want to breed with you, because I believe it could create something extraordinary, an entirely new species." Her enthusiasm was evident, but I couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and anxiety. "What would that mean for us?" I asked, genuinely curious. "On Zorax, blending our DNA is a way to bridge worlds and foster peace," she explained, her voice filled with conviction. "It's more than just breeding. It's about uniting our cultures and sharing our legacies." As I listened, I felt a wave of responsibility wash over me. The thought of being part of something so monumental was exhilarating yet daunting. Could I really be the bridge between two worlds? Would my mother ever accept this? My heart raced with uncertainty, but also a sense of purpose. Intrigued by her passion, I pressed Zyla to tell me more about her culture and why breeding with a human was so significant. With sparkling eyes, she described Zoraxian traditions, vibrant festivals, unique customs, and the bond her species shared with the universe. "We believe that each hybrid carries the essence of both worlds," she said, her voice filled with pride. As she painted a picture of her home planet, I found myself captivated. It sounded like a place filled with harmony and respect for all living beings. I began to realize that her proposal was not just about reproduction. It was about creating a legacy that could bridge our worlds and foster understanding. But deep down, I questioned whether I was ready to take such a leap. Could I truly embrace this path, and would it create a rift between me and my family? Later that week, as I sat on my bed contemplating my next steps, I received an unexpected visit from my mom. "I need to talk to you," she said, her tone serious. My heart sank. Had she found out about Zyla? I braced myself for the worst. "I saw you with that girl in the park. What were you thinking?" Her eyes searched mine for answers. I knew I had to be honest. "Mom, she's not just some girl, she's an alien, and she has this wild idea about creating a new species." The moment I said it, I regretted my choice of words. Her expression morphed from confusion to horror. "Are you out of your mind? You can't just go around breeding with aliens," she exclaimed, her voice rising in disbelief. I watched as her protective instincts kicked in, and I knew this conversation was far from over. "Mom, listen to me," I pleaded, trying to remain calm amid her escalating frustration. "This isn't just about breeding, it's about understanding and uniting our worlds. Zyla has shown me so much, and there's this connection I can't explain." My mom's expression softened for a moment, but doubt lingered in her eyes. "What if she has ulterior motives? You don't know what her intentions are." I could see she was genuinely worried, and I understood her fears. "I get that, but I promise I'll be careful. This is something special, and I want you to at least try to understand." It was hard for her to see my perspective, but I needed her to trust my instincts. My heart raced as I waited for her response, hoping she would see Zyla as I did, a chance for something remarkable. After a long silence, my mom took a deep breath, and I could see the wheels turning in her head. "Okay, I understand you feel a connection to this girl, but I need to meet her first. I want to know who she is and what she's all about." A wave of relief washed over me. "Really? You'll meet her?" I asked, barely able to contain my excitement. "Yes, but under one condition," she said, raising a finger for emphasis. "You need to promise me you'll be cautious. This is new territory for both of us, and I don't want you to get hurt." I nodded eagerly, thrilled at the prospect of my mom finally giving Zyla a chance. It was a small victory, but it meant the world to me. I texted Zyla immediately, letting her know that my mom wanted to meet her, and the anticipation for our next encounter built up inside me. The day had finally arrived for the meeting between Zyla and my mom, and I could barely contain my nerves. We arrived at the park, where Zyla awaited us with her bright smile and an aura of excitement. "You must be Zyla," my mom greeted her, trying to maintain a stern demeanor but clearly intrigued. "I've heard a lot about you." Zyla beamed back, her alien charm radiating warmth. "Thank you for meeting me, ma'am. I promise I only have good intentions." As they began to talk, I felt a mixture of hope and anxiety wash over me. Would my mom be able to see what I saw in Zyla? Would she understand the connection we had? As the conversation flowed, laughter and curiosity filled the air. I watched in awe, realizing that perhaps, just perhaps, this meeting could change everything. The future was uncertain, but for the first time, it felt like we were all on the same page.